Good morning. I'm Jerry Willis, and this is Open House, the show that saves you money. Coming up, what you should do right now that will add major value to your home and not cost you an arm and a leg. And one new idea that could protect your money. But first, what if you could buy a better credit score? Well, the answer is you can. It's called piggybacking. People with really great credit are granting access to their good numbers for a price. Is it too good to be true? Listen to this. Alipio Estruch works as a mortgage broker, and he wanted to become a real estate investor, buying homes in this Florida neighborhood where he lives. But his credit wasn't good enough.
I had a couple of things I was dealing with that were bringing my scores down.
Estruch claims identity theft and too many credit inquiries made him unable to get the mortgage he wanted. A friend told him about a company that might be able to help, Instant Credit Builders. It's one of a number of new companies who offer a unique and controversial way to improve your credit. The company's website promises to raise your credit score in 90 days or less.
Our goal is to help them get their lives back on track. Help them get their lives into a position where they can afford to pay for their homes, send their kids to college, save money for themselves.
Here's how it works. A client with poor credit contacts Instant Credit Builders and pays them a fee, starting at $900 for their services. ICB gives part of the money, an average of $150, to a cooperating person who has good credit, a credit card or a line of credit that has been open for a long time, with a history of on-time payment. The person with good credit adds the person with poor credit as an authorized user on the account. Now, the solid payment history of the credit card becomes part of the credit record of the person with poor credit and automatically boosts their score. ICB says the credit score can go up by an average of 30 to 45 points for each card the client is added to, which can be the difference between approval and denial of an application for new credit. Instant Credit Builder says it's found a loophole in the credit scoring formula that helps clients get a fresh start. But the lending industry says it's not a loophole, it's illegal.
The biggest problem is it's fraud. It's putting people into credit grades that they do not deserve, often giving people access to mortgage credit who would not have access at all.
And while the Federal Trade Commission would not comment on ICB in particular, it indicated a company engaging in this business could be violating the Federal Credit Repair Organizations Act. ICB says it's not breaking any laws. Fair Isaac, the company that developed the FICO credit score, says it will stop letting such users get a boost from the main user's credit cards. ICB says it will continue to find ways around the credit scoring rules so it can help its clients. And Alipio Estruch is so happy with the company, he hopes to someday work for them. Joining us now are John Coates of Instant Credit Builders and Bob Moulton of Americana Mortgage. Welcome to you both. Now, before we get started, I just have to show you some numbers we came up with so you can see why people would want to do this. For example, let's take somebody who had an original credit score of 580, not a good score. Okay, let's say they wanted to have maybe 180 extra points. A new credit score is 760 that they're willing to pay $3,000 to get to a firm like Instant Credit Builders. Now, if they were getting a $300,000 mortgage, each and every month they would save $541 on that mortgage because of their better credit score. That means that this would pay for itself in approximately 6 months. Now, John, I want you to tell me, what's wrong with this picture? This sounds too good to be true.
Well, it sounds too good to be true because we're finally able to throw the American people a rope to help them climb out of the hole, basically the hole that they were thrown into, through terrible practices like subprime lending, predatory lending practices. When we look at the facts, there's 250,000 homes that are in pre-foreclosure right now in our country. This is literally a disaster on the scale of Katrina.
All right, John, so you're saying that your program will actually help people out, will help them get the credit that they need and deserve. Boy, Bob, I bet you've got some objections.
I see a couple problems here, Jerry. The first problem I see is that these people are buying credit scores. And historically, we always underwrite files based on that person's ability to make payments on car loans, student loans, mortgages, and credit cards. If they're buying a credit score, how are we really to know that they have the ability to make the mortgage payment? Secondly...
Well, wait a minute. Let's take these one at a time. John, jump in here. So what's it, come on. I mean, the bankers don't know what they're dealing with. It's a black box for them. People are buying scores. They don't know if they're good risks or poor risks.
But see, this is nothing new. It's been under the umbrella of creative financing for decades now.
What do you mean?
People have been adding people as authorized users. Mainly it was head mortgage lending professionals that would help clients get into their homes.
Or John, mom and dad did it for the kids. So what do you say to that, Bob, that, come on, this kind of practice has been going on for a while?
Well, mom and dad helping the kids or a spouse or helping a significant other is one story in itself. These are people who are buying other people's credit card history, and they may not even know that borrower. They have no relationship with that particular person. That person is doing it for the money, and the person who is trying to help his credit score is trying to help something that he hasn't paid on time. And if credit isn't paid because of medical, marital, or job loss, that's one thing that we understand. But going out and buying a credit score and having underwriters look at that credit score that's not theirs, I think, is a potential problem, increasing the problem that we've already seen in subprime.
So, John, you got to tell me here, is there any risk that somebody's going to steal my identity, whether I'm the person buying the credit score or the one selling it?
Well, the person that buys the credit enhancement to their file, they never get a credit card, and they don't know the person who is basically invested to help them raise their credit. So we are the person that's in the middle there, and as I mentioned earlier, there are definitely contractual agreements between us, the cardholders, and everyone involved. And everyone is on the same page there, and it's a business, and just like you would use your credit card at any business.
Is there a risk to the person who's buying the credit?
Absolutely not. Our system is very solid, and we think we protect people very well.
Well, John, I want to thank you for joining me. Bob, thanks for joining us as well. Great conversation, guys. Thanks a bunch.
You're welcome.